In this tutorial, we are going to learn Redux Thunk from scratch. After completing this tutorial, your all doubts about Redux Thunk will go away. So first of all, let's understand what is Thunk. Thunk is a piece of code that does some delay work, which means rather than run the logic now, we can write code that can be used to perform work later. For example, we want to fetch data from API, and after fetching data, we can store that into Redux Store. Now you might think, what if we simply add async for this action creator? Let's try that. And one more thing, this lesson is from the Ultimate Redux course, and first 100 viewers can enroll in this course completely free. So I add here async, save this, and take a look. You can see we get the error called action must be plain objects. So we can't do that. So Redux Thunk will allow actions to return function instead of returning plain objects. And that's why we use Redux Thunk. In simple words, using Redux Thunk middleware, we can write asynchronous logic like calling API, dispatch multiple actions from one action, etc. Don't worry about this, just see this one time and your all doubts will go away. So to apply Redux Thunk, we have to add thunk method in our configure store function. So back to configure store file and import apply middleware method from Redux. Now we have to import thunk from Redux Thunk library. So open up terminal and write npm install Redux Thunk and hit enter. This Redux Thunk is required to apply thunk in Redux application. Now minimize this terminal and import thunk from Redux Thunk library. Now in this create store function, after reducer, we add apply middleware. And inside this, we pass this thunk. Save this file, and now in task.js file, we will write our logic for API call. So in task.js file, for now, we just add action for calling API. So I write const fetch to do arrow function, and inside this function, we return another function which we use for any type of delay work or more complex logic. Now we can make this function asynchronous. So always remember, in actions we can't perform API calls, but by using this Redux Thunk, we can return function from actions, and in that function we write our complex logic like an asynchronous task. Now this thunk function has two parameters. First one is dispatch, which is used to dispatch an action to reducer. And second parameter is get state, which is used to get the current state of store. These both functions are the same functions which we get in our store in this index.js file. Now I am using fake API just to show you how to call API. So open a new tab in browser and search here JSON placeholder, which is my favorite fake API for testing. Open this link, and in the bottom, you can see here we get fake to do task. Click on that, and for individual task, we can add here /1 in the URL. See, here we get this one single task, and I want to add this title as a task in our Redux application. So I copy this URL and back to VS Code, and in this function we add fetch method, and at the first parameter we add our API. Now this fetch method will return the promise. So here we add await, and for using await we have to add here async. Now this expression returns that first to do object. So we store that in variable called response, and after that we simply console.log this response. Now let's verify this function works or not. So we export this function from this file, save the changes, and in index.js file, at the top, we import here our new function name fetch to do. Now after dispatching this remove task action, we write store.dispatch and we call that function fetch to do. Save the changes and take a look. See, here we get this response in row format and we can convert it into JSON format. But our main focus is we made API call, or we can say we perform an asynchronous task in Redux actions. Now here in the normal Redux action, we have to return object with type and payload property. But in these Thunk functions, we have to manually dispatch action. Let me show you what I means. So here, I want to save this to-do title into our task array. But before this, let's convert this response into JSON format. So write const task equals to await response.json. We add here await because this JSON function again return a promise. Now to dispatch action from this Thunk function, we write dispatch and here we call this add task action, same as we call in our index.js file. And inside this, we pass task.title. So basically, we are fetching this to-do task and add that task in our Redux application. Save the changes and take a look. See, here we don't get our new task. Now why our task is not added? Let's find this out. Open index.js file and here when we dispatch this fetch to do action, this will call API and that will add some delay. So our code run this get state line first and then this fetch to do function will add new task. So I simply comment out this unsubscribe method so we can get notified when something change in our store. Save the changes and take a look. See, here we get our new task. So this is the way to call API by using Redux Thunk middleware. Now let's make this code shorter. So here we are only returning a function from this fetch to do function. So we remove this return and also remove this curly brackets. And at the place of this normal function syntax, we use arrow function. And we can also remove this get state, which we can use for getting the state. But here we are not using it. So we can remove this function. Save these and see, now our Thunk function looks good. You can use your favorite method of this function. It's totally up to you. Now let's quickly recap Redux Thunk. So Redux Thunk is used to apply complex logic or asynchronous tasks in Redux action. So first of all, we define action same as we define other actions. But at the place of returning object, we return another function in which we can perform synchronous or asynchronous tasks. And in that function, we have two parameters, dispatch and payload. And at the end, we can dispatch action from this function. Simple as that. You can see how simple it is to define and call API in Redux. But I want to clear that this is not the best method to call API in Redux. There are many methods for that, which we see in upcoming sections. This is just for Redux Core users who don't want to use Redux Toolkit, which is most popular library. If you want to learn Redux from beginner to advanced level, then you can access the Ultimate Redux course, which covers the latest Redux Toolkit. And first 100 students will get this course completely free with certificate. Link is in the description box. So I hope you learn Redux Thunk. If you have some doubts, then you can ask me in the comment section. And also, thank you so much for your support. I am really grateful for that. See you in the next tutorial. Till then, keep learning and have a nice day.